Edna's not here to say if we have a quorum, so
You can say it.
Colleen is...
No, I can't say it. You
You
can.
can't?
Say you have a form.
We do have a quorum, and notice was properly posted for this meeting.
Okay, give me just 1 second. I'm catching up
I'd
on
like to
my...
call the meeting to order.
I will read this. I have 2 sets of minutes to read. I'm not going to read the whole set of minutes from July 18th, but it was brought to our attention that there were 2 matters on the agenda that were not included in the minutes, so I'm just going to read those blurbs of what I added to the minutes, okay? So I don't have to reread the entire thing. A discussion was held regarding Nassad, I'm not going to even try to say your last name, the damage that occurred from Affordable Palm during the tree trimming project. It was discussed that Nassad will work with Affordable Palm regarding this matter as an insurance claim was filed through Geico, the unit owner's personal insurance. A discussion was held regarding repayment to Jim Mack for the services of attorney Pebble. It was explained that the association cannot repay for this attorney representation as Mr. Peebles was not the association's attorney. It was suggested that a GoFundMe project be created for Mr. and Mrs. Mack to repay them for their attorney costs. So those are the 2 things that were left out, and I just put them in the minutes. And so if we can make a motion to approve the minutes as remedied, I guess you'd say remedied. I don't make motions.
Would you make a motion?
Do we have a second?
You have to.
Second?
All in favor?
Okay. And I will read the minutes from our last meeting. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Okay. The meeting was held on Thursday, August 15th, 2019. Can everyone hear me? Okay. I know I'm loud. At 6:30. The meeting was called to order by Sharon Villers at 6:33. Carol was, I'm going to just say who was present. Carol, Terry, Sharon, Nancy was absent, Edna was present by phone, Nassad, and then myself from CNS Management. The Board of Director minutes of July 18, 2019 was read by Colleen Fletcher. It was discussed that a few discussion item topics were not included in the minutes. Colleen Fletcher will update the minutes and provide at the next meeting. Reports. The Beautification Committee. Ruby Peterson provided a report regarding the meeting that was held to discuss the Beautification Committee plans. Currently, the committee is working on obtaining proposals to fix the fence by the maintenance shed, repair the green fence, refreshing the signs at the entrance of 59th and 7th Avenue, replace some plantings, and an estimate to resurface the tennis court / replace the fence. Social Committee. Carol reports that the committee is discussing something for Labor Day, but no final plans have been made. Cluster 1, Carol reported that she is working on the roof issues, and the sidewalks were pressure washed. The owners of Cluster 1 got together and cleaned up the cow pasture. Sharon Villers reported, Cluster 2, excuse me. Sharon Villers reported that prior to Kathy Joe's resignation, she completed all projects in process. A discussion was held regarding the CD in the amount of $19,067.49 at Hancock Bank that is set to renew on 11/28/2019. It was discussed that the CD should be cashed in and placed in the reserve account. A motion was duly made and seconded by Carol to cash in the CD and not to renew on 11/28/2019. All in favor, motion carries. Cluster 3, Terry explained that there are still issues with the pool lights. Miller Electric will be out with Trinity Pools to find the concerns. There will be a walk with Easy Joe to discuss landscaping, I can't spell, concerns. And 6142 is still a work in progress. I'm sorry, I'll fix the word landscaping. Cluster 4, Sharon had no report. Cluster 5, Nancy was not present. Several owners expressed concerns regarding staircase repairs and other items that will need to be addressed and reported to the cluster director. Cluster 6, Edna approved the proposal of $1,000 to repair the carport post as needed. Master, Sharon Villers reported that Peter has been working very hard in keeping up with all of the work orders. Peter replaced all the pool gate hinges that were damaged and I doubled myself, and they have been fixed. Peter is working with Manatee County to look at the plans for the drains to make sure the main drain is clean. Old business, a discussion was held regarding the open Cluster 2 Director position. If any owner in Cluster 2 is interested in the position, please contact the Board of Directors. It was reported that the landscapers fell behind due to weather and will be catching up soon. Colleen Fletcher reported that the insurance renewal should be coming in from the insurance broker soon. New business. A discussion was held regarding setting a limit for spending per cluster without prior board approval. A motion was duly made and seconded by Terry to re-adopt $2,000 as a limit without board approval. Comments were taken from the owners. The meeting was adjourned at 7:39. The next meeting will be September 19th, 2019 at 6:30 p.m. Respectfully submitted, Colleen Fletcher on behalf of the Secretary of the Board.
Any corrections to the minutes besides spelling?
Other than my spelling errors, I think we're okay, right?
Do I have a motion to accept the minutes as read? You.
Okay. I feel like I'm in school when I read the minutes.
Well, you would have flunked.
Okay, good job.
Committee reports. Ruby's our beautification committee chair.
Okay, I'll move over here so that everybody can hear me. This will be short. Some of the things in progress, the fence, we talked about that in the front, and it was determined that Peter could do that, so he's working on that. He'll do it a little bit of time in his spare time. The 59th Street sign, we're getting some bids on that. The center will be done, the posts are fine, electricity has to be added. What? Okay. And then we also approved design for the island clusters in 3, 4, and 5. And
The
it'll
end
be
caps.
simple. Yes, the end caps.
And Petra Wallace actually designed it. Beautiful design. She's from
Very
Cluster 5. And
Are you leaving the first one? Are you leaving that one alone?
I think we'll
Yeah.
pretty much leave that alone. There's
Good.
some things that look like maybe they could be removed in the
Right.
center,
So
but
the majority of it is
Right.
really good and healthy. I was
It's
hoping
very
you were gonna-
healthy, right.
Okay,
it'll be the ones between 4 and 5.
right.
the
And
next
3
one
and
on
3.
5 and the other 3, so there
Right.
are 4 of them. So. And our next meeting will be the 15th, October 15th at 6 o'clock, so anybody who's interested, come on down.
Thank you, Ruby. Carol,
Social club, no report.
no report for the social club.
You're not, Labor Day is over.
Cluster 1, do you have anything to report?
Yeah, we're gonna have a,
You have to talk to them or they can't hear you.
yeah, that's right. My cheerleader voice is dead. We're going to have a holistic thing done for a whole condominium inside now. Gutters, different boards that need to be replaced. Our carport, some of the steel beams have rusted, and that's going to be cured and taken care of and fixed. It just goes on and on and on. There's like 15 or more things that we're going to do. Anyway, so considering what, we're 40 years old, I think this is one of the first major things we've done to tend to the fascia and things that sometimes you overlook. It's not a glaring problem, but it could lead to a bigger problem. So we're trying to do that. So that's our big news.
Thank you, Carol. Cluster 2, roof leakers reported, but that's been authorized to be repaired. I can't think of the unit number.
I can't probably.
The roof has about 5 years still on it, and with the funds needing to come up a bit, we authorized to repair rather than go for a new roof at this time to build up some funds. There was a couple applications that,
Denied.
yeah, they were denied. And
There was
that-
roofers out, I'm sorry, there was roofers out there, I'm assuming you knew.
Southern Roofer was out recently? Okay, good, then that was repaired. Anything else you could think of? Have the lights been,
Oh, the lights were all out in cluster 6, and the 2 lights on the buildings that I talked about since Ann.
Yeah, he came,
Since
but
Ann was here,
he didn't, he came
Complete
out.
electric came out, yeah.
Yeah,
they're
but
still not working?
all the carport lights were out on cluster 6 and it's happened and then it gets fixed and then it happens.
out again.
And then it gets,
Most
yeah,
of the week, those lights have been out off and on and.
yeah.
Evidently the
The electrical
timer's not
wires
working
do
Yeah,
properly.
can you check on that and keep track of that to see if the carport lights?
No, it doesn't work.
They're not working at
On
all.
the 6, we have still same lines not working, on the buildings also not working. Pete promised that he's gonna replace bulbs or replace the whole lights, but nothing happened. It still doesn't work.
Let me talk to Peter. Peter
And I
might
don't
know,
know, is
he
Pete
might have some
qualified
stuff
to do
in.
that?
Yeah, he's been working on doing them, let me see if he can work faster on 6.
Yeah, and if there's an electrical issue with the carport, with all the lights out, then,
No, it's just ending lights which were
Oh.
motion activated.
All right,
But
let me
we
call the
agreed
sensor.
to replace them with the regular, just, light the dark.
I understand what you're saying.
Sensor.
Right.
I'm not sure, I'm not assuming that we're all tied together or whatever, but cluster 5's lights on their carports have been on at like 9, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. I don't know if the timers
Timers are off, yeah.
So something
We need to
needs to
fix
be
that.
set because
Let me see if he.
they're on for,
He should be able to, it's just a photo
Ask
stuff.
Peter to check the timer, and if he needs an electrician, he'll let me know.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
if they're on a timer or if they're photo
Pat,
stuff.
Cluster 4, have you noticed anything? 'Cause some,
We skipped 3.
no, I'm not gonna, we're gonna
Oh.
go back, on lights.
Just one day, the carport lights were on all day, but then they were on all night, too. I mean, I checked. to
And
see.
now it's back to normal?
Now, and the next day, they were all right.
Okay.
It was just one day, and that was last
That's
week.
strange.
I know, I thought so too. 'cause
I wonder if
thought,
there's
well,
like
now they're
wires
out.
shorting out, I don't know.
Terry, Cluster 3?
I've had 2 quotes for power washing because our whole cluster is in dire need, obviously, of power washing.
The buildings?
The first one was $25.50, the second one was $21.90, and I'm actually gonna go with the $21.90, and I guess I need approval.
Yeah,
I thought we needed one more quote though.
she's barely over the 2,000.
Okay.
I mean, do you,
Can you please get one more quote? Because if we approve that, then that
we're not
mixes
breaking
out
the rule.
the
That's
whole
cool.
thing we just voted on
So
last
I
month.
need to get one more quote.
And you can email it, and then we can ratify it at the
Yeah.
meeting if it's an emergency. Like, if you want, you know what I'm saying, if the guy's like, hey, I need to do it right now, something like that,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
Just,
Do you guys have any other?
I can send you some people, I don't know who you went to, but I can
I
send
went through Island Properties and Terry Faulkner so far.
you. Okay,
Do those people that did the power washing on the sidewalks, do they not do for the building?
I don't know, who, is that,
She does
that's who you
for-
contacted, right?
No, that wasn't Faulkner. Who was it? You were the one that hired all those
No,
guys.
I didn't hire
it
him.
was Faulkner.
Was it
It was
Faulkner?
Yeah.
The older dude that was Faulkner? Okay.
I mean,
thought
it
was
just seemed
somebody
like
else.
everybody liked them as far as doing the sidewalks.
I
think
think
he
she
did a
got
good
a
job.
quote, right?
Oh, okay.
You got a quote for the buildings from him?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, just get one more. You
Okay.
could even call it Home, what's that?
There's
Home
Wix.
Advisor?
Yeah, there's Wits, pressure washing, and they're on our website, you can try them. He's a smaller guy, but he's nice, he's decent. You can, I mean, I'm just giving you a quote, an idea. He's on our website. I can send you his information.
I can pull it up if it's on the website.
Yeah, it goes right to like his website. It's on the CNS website under, what do we have over there? Sponsors, it's under sponsors. And he did a really good job for me before.
Anything else you can think of?
6142 is still obviously work in process. I've had one quote come in to replace all the header beam and side beams at $3,800. So obviously, I think that's kind of over the top, but
Did you check with Troy from 3D?
no.
Do you want his information?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna send you it right now.
Yeah.
Send it to me too.
Okay, I'm gonna include you both in it. He is walking the property with me on Monday.
Who is it, Troy?
Troy,
From
Larkin
where?
is his name, 3B Construction. I'm emailing it to you right now. He's meeting me on site on Monday, so if you are available Monday morning or Monday afternoon.
It would have to be early.
Okay, so I could do 9:30.
Let me show you.
Do you want to give me a list or send me pictures of what you want me to look at?
Yeah, I can send you.
Because I'm going to cluster 4, I'm going to 6, and the entrance is 5, so.
So I can give you.
I'll just make my rounds.
To unit 6142.
Okay.
And you can, I mean, I've got pictures along with the master key. I just need to let the owner know that.
Okay, just get it to me, because I'll be here. Okay?
Yeah, I will be.
I will be. And then I'll be back to meet with you. Well, instead. 11:30.
First at 9:30.
Yeah, so then I gotta meet him at, when we're done. Yeah, okay. All right, I just sent you his contact. Okay.
Anything else for Frank?
I did call, who was it? Somebody in regards to our carports, whoever I used the last time, I can't think of the gentleman's name. But
Oh,
he's
let me give you a name too.
going to come out and give me a quote on the carport in front of 6122 because it's basically split in half.
We just had cluster 6 repairs done. I'll pull up the name right now so you have it. They just sent the invoice. They were very quick to come out too.
This was the same one that I used last time we had issues, and that was like a year and a half ago.
Didn't that air conditioning company take care of that, repairing
But
that?
that was not, Pinnacle Aluminum was who I contacted.
The first one I want, I can't find it. Let me make a note to email it.
The air
Oh, here it
conditioning
is.
company, who asked that question? I don't believe they were the ones that did the major damage that was in front of 6122. They did a corner damage.
No, I was there, they did, they split it right open. They got it.
That was the,
Yeah.
I thought they did the corner.
No, I watched a guy do it.
Okay.
I stayed there the whole time waiting to get the cops.
Yeah, they were supposed to take care of that, and apparently they haven't. So, and it was the one right in front of 6122,
Yeah.
sure?
Right on 7th, right?
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
I will
pulled
get
in
hold
and
of
backed out
them.
and
I've got their
got
phone number as well, so thank you. I
You
thought
want
they
that?
did the one that was the corner
Right
damage.
in the middle, and the whole
Yep.
piece, it came out like
It
this.
split
two
it right in
pieces.
the middle of it.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks, Jim. You want that phone number of the aluminum people?
Yes, please.
It's a commercial, residential aluminum. Phone number's 941-486-9104. Peter can always meet them if you can't meet him because he overseen the repair job in 6. So if you can't ever be here, he could be there to meet with the contractor.
Okay.
Anything else, Terry?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, thank you. Well,
Yes, the unit, for the Mark's unit number.
oh yeah,
What's it?
Michael,
Do we
what's
know-
that unit number? You texted it to me, right?
I don't think I did, I don't know.
Maybe.
Hold on, I might have it in my contacts, give me a second.
Yeah, they need a, Colleen's aware of it. The car was towed for unauthorized vehicle. But Michael said that their vehicle is dripping some kind of, something that's
6126.
damaging the asphalt. What can we do about that? 6126?
6146.
He damaged, their vehicle damaged their asphalt?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you should, I mean, you should look at it for yourself. but
Yeah.
It looks like it's maybe some fluid from their vehicle or something that has eaten the,
Well, if
It
we
was
prove it came from
actually-
their vehicle, then
Well, that, it was
Wait,
where
wait.
they were parked.
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
where they were parked
That's fine, I understand.
when we had it
Do we have
towed.
pictures?
I sent them to you.
Okay. That, but we don't have pictures of the of the stuff.
No, but we can get pictures.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if it, I noticed it when I was walking.
No, it's
the-
fine, I just have to document it,
No,
that's
no,
all.
but I mean, I don't know if it's bad enough, you know, you have to look at it.
I'll go look at it.
Yeah,
It's
look
in
at
front
it
of
and
where?
See what you think.
It's-
Cluster 4, right?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
We've got
That's
two
the van I
different
told
issues.
you.
Kind of over on the cluster 3 side.
Blue one,
Yeah,
right? Okay.
We've actually,
And they have unauthorized documents?
yes.
yes,
Okay,
so we have two issues with that.
got it.
One
Yeah.
is the vehicle, and the second one is unauthorized occupants that are there more often than not, so.
Okay, got it.
And I'm sure that van doesn't have a tag.
It does. It does.
Oh, that van, he's
Like
they're
a,
using
it
that
has
van?
like a, it has a tag, like a, not a state tag.
No.
Oh,
Pebble
like a
Springs
parking tag? Oh, no. I thought you were talking like a tag, like
No,
a.
license plate?
License plate, I'm like, it has a tag.
Yeah, it does.
They're not from the state, but yeah, it has a tag. No, they don't have a Pebble Springs one. So, we'll take care of that.
Can we move on, Karen?
Yes,
Bring it
please.
up. Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you. Cluster 4, one thing we really have going on there is I had to have, the waterproofing people come back out to fix a couple damaged areas where the waterproofing popped up on the south side and the north side, small areas, but they did repair it and then they're gonna come back out and reapply the waterproofing material. That's it on 4. Cluster 5?
Cluster 5, I have one quote here for carpeting on the southwest side for Mary Keys' place. They took it up because they were told that they were going to be, get painted. They were gonna take all the glue off and get painted, so they took up the old rug, only to find out that they're not going to take all the glue. So you put the new rug down, it's gonna be bumpy again, so I got a quote here for that.
I'm confused. Why are we putting carpet back on it? Why can't they take the glue up and paint it?
They said they can't take it because they have to take a big equipment up there and it will weaken the cement, because, that's what it'll do.
Well,
Okay,
I don't think that carpeting is the best idea because that holds the moisture and water and that causes damage to the structure. So, I mean, that's not, I'm not telling you how to handle it, I'm just saying
Well,
that
then they'll have to take up the,
that's what
the glue.
Sharon had to do.
when that company, Island
Yep.
Maintenance,
Mm-hmm.
when he quoted scraping the glue off.
Right,
Yes,
yeah.
it did.
And then the job was halted because it's happening on the east side too, Mrs. Codella's side. Her mother lived there till recently. The same thing, he started the job.
Yeah.
He never even swept the glue, started painting it. Petra and I think maybe Mary caught him in time and like, what are you doing? So he charged your cluster for an ungodly amount, $650 to remove the carpet.
Just remove carpet.
Just to remove the carpet.
Yeah, that's the only reason
But
they
it
had
was
to remove.
perfectly, why
Yeah,
was
but
it removed in the first
$650.
place? Because the carpet was only supposed to be removed on the east side to begin with, and then all of a sudden we get a call that the carpet's been removed on the west side. The east side had a definite trip problem where the west side had no problems. Liz?
On my mom's side, on the east side, it was all ripped and tattered
Yeah.
and torn and shredded. And they did remove the carpeting, but the glue is still there.
Yeah, they
And
never
it's been
touched
over
it.
a month, and nothing's been done.
Did we pay them?
No.
No. No.
Good.
So it needs to be scraped, and it needs to be painted like every other cluster. I agree with Colleen. Putting down a carpeting, you're forming a barrier where the moisture's getting in there, and it's gonna cause erosion and more problems.
And if you just paint it, if he just was allowed to paint it, you'd have water intrusions, because that's what I'm fighting in 4. That's why 4 spent all the money to have the waterproofing done when we painted, because we were getting active leaks down in the units. It's porous, becomes porous.
Yeah, why can't it be done like 4? My other unit, number 4, we did all that waterproofing and painted it, and it looks fine, and it's clean and that nice and neat. I mean, the 5 is horrible.
I mean, it still needs to be touched up every year or 2 years.
Well, I'm sure there's maintenance.
But
Yeah.
it's the initial, I could give you the number to Tim, who did the waterproofing, and he can quote. I'll tell you that cluster 4 was $6,500. That's why we went over budget on our painting project. But once they got into it and seen it, they knew that it had to be done like that. His name is Tim Woodman.
It's Sure-Way Painting. See, what happens is, and I deal with this at other properties, whenever you have carpet on top of any surface, it just holds the water, you're just holding moisture. So you're weakening whatever's underneath it. It's outdated, number one, and number two, it's just causing further damage to your foundation. So a lot of associations, once they take up the carpet, they find that, you know, if it's concrete, the rebar showing. If it's wood, they have wood rot. So you really have to just waterproof it the proper way, which is to put a sealer on it and not just paint it. You actually have to seal the area and get all the glue up, and it won't weaken the foundation to remove the glue because he can sand it or he can scrape it to get it up.
It won't be perfectly smooth.
No, it never will
If
be.
you go look on the south side, you'll see where there's a repair. Feel free, 5, go look.
When you're talking
Liz
about,
knows, she's on 4, she owns a place on 4.
when you're talking about it costing $6,500, did you do all of the stairs?
All of the walkways.
All of them?
All of our walkways.
Okay.
And we're kind of set up like you.
Right, but I mean, if we have stairs on
Not
east,
just one section, it was all.
we have stairs on east and west, we have stairs on north and
Correct.
south. Did you do all of
Yes.
that for 65?
Yes.
Yeah.
So if we don't need to have north and south done, we're just talking about east and west,
Which are the smaller ones.
which are the smaller stairs, right,
Yeah, so it won't be as much.
okay?
But I also do,
Yeah. at least.
I also asked him, because he charged for materials, well, where's the materials? Well, I have them. I'm like, well,
Give them to us.
if you want to be paid, you need to bring them back.
This is that island maintenance? So are we just not paying them?
Not right
We haven't
now.
yet.
Okay.
Nancy asked where Hawaii isn't being paid. That's the reason.
Right.
There's more to it than,
At this point, he should be.
yeah, Mary.
And he didn't even know the paint he was using, I questioned one. He didn't even know that it was gonna work. There was no guarantee.
Right.
He says, we don't know.
I don't know what materials he was using. I haven't seen it. I don't know. Until he drops that paint off, I don't know what it is.
Somebody that's in the business, you can know what he was doing.
So while we're on the subject of island maintenance, I could go on all night. The stairs. He gave one broad quote that we could use in every single stairs in our community. I'm like, you can't just give one quote. It was almost $10,000. And he said, here, this can be used for all the stairs. There's several issues in cluster 6. And I'm like, no, because some stairs, they need a little work. He goes, no, they all need to be rebuilt. This is what it's going to be. So I'm not very happy with island maintenance. So therefore, 3D Construction's going to come in and give some bids.
Why we are hiring Joe Naples anymore?
Joe Naples, that's who he
Yeah,
is.
why?
Why?
I got rid of him when I was director in cluster 6 because all his offers, bids are nothing. He doesn't show what he's doing.
That's
and
what I'm
he
saying.
doesn't
I
show
don't-
what
we
he's
don't
done,
use him.
and he's overcharging.
That's what we're saying. I'm just saying that. Some
Why
clusters
you are
have
hiring
used
him?
them. Well, I can't control what another cluster
Because-
does. I can only
Yeah.
advise.
Because every director has the ability to hire any contractor they want. That's the way that our the association is set up. So the master can choose not to use a vendor, but Carol can use him. If Terry's had good if people have different views, they can use whichever contractor they want. I can't
Yeah.
stop a director from using him.
You can only advise.
But if they the only time I can stop them is if they don't have the proper insurance or they're not properly licensed. Then I can say, no, you can't use that contractor. But every cluster uses, like she uses Reynolds Electric, you use Miller, you know what I'm saying? Everybody kind of uses different people because they have different rapports with
I'm just saying,
not
Joe
all
Naples
clusters use the same thing.
Really tricky.
I don't disagree. I've had issues with communication with island maintenance, I will say that.
I'll get you a
That's like the best way to put it.
We did just recently use him to replace 10 fence posts. He had a good bid. We used him, but for other stuff, be leery. Liz?
Regarding back to the stairways and the landings, are we back to getting 3 new bids?
No. Well, no, because that needs to be done. That's a trip hazard. 3D's coming in. We'll know more Monday.
3B will be here Monday. I will be walking with him, and we'll be taking a look at it.
All the steps?
Just the areas that are of an emergency. I'm not checking every.
She's gonna check the east and the west and the south
Correct.
right now.
Correct.
So we're talking at cluster 5, you're doing
Yeah.
east and west?
Yep.
East, west,
Okay.
and south,
Yep.
because south has been brought up that
Yeah.
there's an issue also.
Oh, okay, at cluster 5?
Yep.
Okay.
So,
I'll be here all day probably Monday.
Okay, so
But-
right now, nothing's getting done for in the next few days.
no, not till Monday when
Okay.
3D comes.
I mean, you can ask the board to approve to put carpet back down, but because of the proposal, the board has to approve the proposal because of the amount of money. And I mean, you can ask for a vote, and I can't tell how the board's gonna vote, if that's what you wanna do, but we're suggesting that maybe you have a different vendor look at it and kind of give you some different guidance. And that's your decision to make. we're not gonna make that for you.
Okay, that's fine, but we're not gonna be waiting 6 months for
No,
somebody
he's coming on
to
Monday.
be coming, and then you can make your decision after you hear what they say.
Well, we're gonna meet him on Monday, we'll get the information, and then, because this is an emergency, you have the ability to vote over the email, and then we can ratify it at the next meeting. We wanna get this done for the homeowners, but we also wanna do it the right way and make sure that everything is done correctly. So, I mean, if you want to propose to do the carpet, you may. We're not gonna stop you. But the board has the ability to deny it if they want to, or approve it if they want to. So that's your choice, it's up to you.
Yeah, but listening to all these comments, you just have the feeling that it's not gonna get approved.
I can't say whether or not, you can ask. I'm not the board, I'm just the
Yeah.
manager, I don't make the
Well,
decisions.
just because you approve it does not mean that they have to do that.
Yeah, if you're approving the proposal, then that would mean that that's what the work's gonna be done. If you're asking us to approve that proposal, that's what you want done, you don't wanna go any further, you don't wanna see any other options, and you wanna put carpet down. So, or, we're suggesting that you try to get some other bids for an alternate way of sealing the walkways.
And 3D is coming in, and actually Tim Woodman's gonna
You
be
wanna
on
wait, Mary?
site too.
Correct. I mean, it's up to you.
No, we'll wait on Mary, you know.
Mary, are you,
We're gonna see what the bid is.
Yeah.
If they're coming in and do what they started doing.
Yeah,
No,
they-
they want to help save carpet, but otherwise, if they're gonna paint it and paint it correctly, not paint over dirt.
Yeah.
sealing it, yeah,
And
And everything else.
right.
I mean, and then they said, well, there's no guarantee it's even gonna stay. And then I get the all-day sun. So if that's not painted right,
It's gonna be hot.
you're tracking in your house.
I understand, yeah, we do. Maybe you should take a look at, have you looked at what they did at Sharon's walkways? Has anybody looked?
Pardon me.
Has anybody looked at what they did at Sharon, on Sharon's walkways?
Yes, I did.
Okay, did you think that it was okay, like
Yes.
it looked good? You would be okay with that on your walkway?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what we're thinking of trying to do, is something exactly like what Sharon did, because it waterproofed it. So since you have an example, we'll get 2 bids for that type of project.
I like that one too, because that's in my other
Okay.
condo.
Okay, just wanna make sure that everybody's kinda
Okay.
seen it, understood it.
I'll still save this,
Okay, save it.
just in case.
Okay, that's fine, that's fine. Okay.
anything else, Nancy?
Yes, our pool sign in our pool is very, can't read it. And I talked to Trinity, Pool Company, and they said they can't do that.
Right.
It was a custom made. Do you know who did that?
Well,
You have fine people.
Petra actually, is in the process of getting a couple quotes for you.
Yes.
Yeah, Petra's already gotten 1 quote, And she wants me to check to see what the ruin is on the size of the sign, because they may be smaller. So,
He also said that if you're gonna get a new one, you're better to put it north and south rather than east and west because of the sun. That's what made it bad, the sun. So he said, if you're gonna
I
put
But
it
the only, you know, in all fairness, it had to be whatever that sign, that new sign, was made of or whatever, because prior to that, I mean, we've been living here over 20 years, and that sign prior was never damaged like that.
No.
And it was up there forever.
Yes,
And it wasn't until we got this new sign that it got deteriorated, distorted and everything. It's like brown, you can't hardly read it.
Can't read it at
It's
all.
gotta be something with the material of it versus just sitting east and west.
Yeah.
Is it well water? Well?
No, it could be the chlorine. It could be the chlorine.
Can't read it?
I don't think so.
Okay, hold on one second. I have a question. Is it metal?
I don't know. It might be metal. It might be some
It's
sort.
like a tin,
Yeah, I know, it's not
plate.
wood.
like a tin plate.
Yeah,
All
maybe
right.
that's why.
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's the material of the sign.
Okay.
So can you check on the size limit?
I can pull it up on the county, yeah.
Trinity said they can make you a smaller one, they could do that, but it wouldn't be the same.
We want to make sure that, well, yeah, I don't want Trinity making the sign. It has to be in compliance with what the county is, because if not, they'll close your pool down.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pull up the size requirements and I'll send it to Petra, since she's getting the quotes, right? And then,
Yeah.
is that what we wanna do? Okay. Because I'll just copy what the exact requirements are of the county, because they have certain rules you have to have on there. So, I'll get that to Petra.
Also, I gave new a tag for their car for the new people in 5936. I gave them rules and regulations, and I introduced myself, talked to them, had a nice conversation with them. So, you know,
Yeah.
they're well taken care of.
Good.
Can I bring up something for cluster 5? I
Sure.
haven't had a chance to mention it to Nancy. There's a windowsill underneath Ava's bedroom. So it's between 59, 52, and what's Ava? 59, I don't know Ava's.
I can look it up.
I think it's 59, 54. Anyway, it's right there where you park your car, so it's between where you walk into Teresa Casey's door, and it's Ava's bedroom. The windowsill on the outside of her bedroom window
Like the
is
wood?
literally crumbling. I've seen it and I've pushed on it a couple times, and it's that,
Is that the stucco?
yeah.
She's gonna have
yeah.
water intrusion.
It is crumbling.
Does she have gutters?
I don't know. I don't think
Because it
so.
happened to Tom's when they had to totally rebuild.
Where?
He doesn't have gutters. the walls
59,
just
52,
falling out.
that area.
Yeah, it's between 59, 52 and 59, 54. It's right, it's like right there in front of where the car's parked, under the carport.
Contractor?
That's her bedroom window, and when you look at it, you'll see all the cracks. And if you push it, like I said, it's crumbling,
Or a
so.
painter?
When Sherway comes out to look at the water treatment, he has a guy that does that.
Okay,
5902, where I go, I'm in 5904, well, when I face going into my front door, 5902's got a big crack in their window seal too.
so that's the same thing.
You know why? It's time for you guys to paint.
Yes,
Yeah,
well,
well,
we got the downspouts of that, but the water just comes out of the
Well, what
downspout.
happens is once the paint loses its
Yeah, we
dirt.
got gutters, but it's still, they're overflowing.
What happens is paint isn't aesthetic.
Uh-huh.
Paint is to seal your building.
Uh-huh.
So when your paint starts to fail or it's past its due date, you can tell if you run your hand on the paint, it'll get chalky. You'll get the stair step cracks. Your stucco will start to crack because it's not properly sealed anymore. So that's signs that the buildings need to actually be painted, and then when they're painted, the painter has a stucco guy who comes in and fixes all the stucco work first,
Right.
and then they paint the building to seal it properly so that you're good for another 10 years.
I've never
So-
seen any more cracks, so.
Well, I mean, we can patch it, but
Yeah.
you're gonna start seeing more and
Right.
more and more as the buildings don't get painted.
Right.
So we just kind of need to take a look at it, evaluate, where we're at, is it gonna cost more money to keep patching it? Or is it gonna be worth going out and trying to get bids to paint? You know, so we need to level that out.
Okay.
When was the last time cluster 5 was painted?
I think it was '09.
We're at the 10-year mark.
I'm pretty sure he was on the board at the time, and I keep thinking it was like '08 or '09.
Yeah.
So we're at that mark.
We are.
Paint usually lasts 8
Well,
to
then it
10
might have
years.
been '08.
So
When did they
how-
check the downspouts? Because every time we have a hard rain, more comes out over the downspouts and down, you know, the gutters.
Like the gutters need to be clean?
I don't know, but I mean, it's
Usually
really
they are
bad.
The
together.
carport gutters or the building?
No, both, the house gutters.
Then Nancy needs to get someone to check them.
Needs to clean the gutters.
Rain and
Well, it's
shine.
being brought up.
Hold on one second. I'm gonna give Nancy a vendor. Hold on.
It's really overflowing bad.
Okay.
Rain and shine
That happened at my
will
house.
come out and clean your gutters
Yeah, mine
and finish your
I
downspouts.
had to clean it down.
If you need me to email the information to you, I will.
Okay.
Okay?
They're dirty.
Alright.
All right, anything
Good
else,
for the plants, but not.
Nancy?
We had Easy Joe make sure all our drains were, cleaned out from all the debris from the thing, because when it rained right before the hurricane, those 3 days before, our backyard was a mess. So he came out and cleaned them all off and made sure that, they're going to make sure that they keep them that way.
We need to make sure he keeps all of them that way. He knows to do that.
Mhm.
Is there anything else?
Nope.
We're gonna move on to cluster 6. Nisa's gonna give the report.
Yeah, I saw they started work on poles, the carpet poles. I didn't check if it's finished. The irrigation, I don't know how other people feel about it. I made a request and they came today at 6 o'clock. Quite often the pipe get broken. Is it done by a landscaper or I don't know why and how? But I found myself drenched in the water one night in Lanai because the pipe was broken, and I tried to fix next day with duct tape. Looks good, but they have interval of every 3 days they are doing irrigation. Next time I got again, but I closed the window that time, and the neighbor next to me is also having the same problem. So what I'm giving a warning to everybody, just to watch around all your irrigation equipment. Where is it sending the water? How is it spreading that? How is it spraying? Is it going to your lanai or is it going in appropriate direction? Because the only function for it is to keep us green, not to water our lanais and so on.
Right. We don't need to water our building.
Yeah, but I fixed all around my condo, I fixed them all to spray away from the building because I don't know, is that landscapers or it was by mistake done that way, but it was going toward the building and everything.
They could have got moved by the landscapers when they're going.
Okay. Now about landscaping, there is a, yeah, by the way, the pool sign is the same condition as in every other cluster, so I presume you will have action
Okay, you need a new pool
for
sign?
all clusters to replace them. But the landscaping, I don't know what's going on. Who is supposed to take care of weed?
The weeds? He is.
And to
Easy job.
spray that, to remove that and so on.
He's supposed to spray them. He doesn't hand pull weeds. And that, I mean, that's just one of those things, and I know that if they were to hand pull weeds, they would charge us extra because the labor to hand pull weeds
Okay.
is extensive. So they
I'm gonna give
spray
you a
them.
big insight on
But
everything.
no, there's lots of weeds everywhere.
No,
and it's
not
good.
about weed.
Yeah.
Cluster 6, because I live there and I see the things, I don't know, probably it is the same with other classes. But all edge stones around the trees, around the green islands, they're moved. I presume that was done by landscapers, because they're reckless, they just push the machine and they don't care. And everyone which is supposed to isolate area, tree area or green island area and so on, they're on the floor, they're this way and this way.
And cluster 6?
They do it all
Everywhere?
over the place.
I believe it's all across the Pebble Springs. Now, we have a name Pebble Springs. I don't know where is that coming from, but I presume we should have all our trees surrounded by the pebbles. And it was that way in the beginning. Now those pebbles disappeared. We have a weed, and he was trying hard with his people to cut that with the edge trimmers, and he broke the window. Actually, I'm the window guy. I have
You're the
really
window
bad-
that got broken.
I have really bad luck with the windows. He broke my window. Not broke completely, he just chipped
Yeah.
with a stone and so on. But basically what I'm saying, we should somehow either buy the mulch and put around the trees, or go in bigger investment, buy some pebbles and put around the trees as it was before. I don't
We
know.
had rocks installed, I don't know if everybody remembers, and it was a disaster.
Didn't we get
Because
mad
we
at
didn't
you
put
football
the
players
mulch,
for
we
it?
didn't put the weed barrier underneath the rocks. We had our maintenance guy do it. He was charging cluster 4 for all the rocks that
Yeah.
went to everyone else. That was Josh.
That was before me.
That was Josh, it was before she was here. It was when I first came on, and then he didn't put the weed barrier down, so then all we had were rocks and weeds.
Yeah,
So
now.
they stopped doing the rocks because it was a mess when we were doing it, and I think cluster 2 didn't do it, right? Cluster 2 didn't participate in the rocks, if I can remember correctly. One of the clusters didn't participate.
Yeah, not that.
You didn't. Okay.
I don't have rocks inside our cluster.
But you got charged
On the
for 'em.
exterior, we do.
Right.
We were trying to do the outside because we
Right.
had the mulching draining into
Right.
the drain.
We were trying to avoid mulching.
Just the outside.
Right. So we did try rocks. I mean, we can look at it again, but I would not recommend having your maintenance man do it. It's very labor intensive, number one. It took up all of
Well,
Josh's
he
time.
doesn't have anything, it's just bare.
Yeah.
He's saying even mulch would look better.
Well, we need to mulch a lot of areas.
Yeah.
Runs away with
I
the
think
rest.
you need
Yeah,
mulch,
it
too.
goes into the drain.
I think the common areas need mulch
Yeah,
too.
I'm really concerned about who is supposed to take care of those headstones and put them back.
He should be putting them back, so that'll be something that
Yeah,
we
but
need
you
to discuss.
cannot prove that he moved them. He broke them. He put
Well,
them
I don't know
down.
who else goes out and moves them around.
Why don't you send a letter and have him move them back? You know,
And if he fights it, what do I do then? Have Peter move them back?
No. Peter's got other stuff to do right now, not.
I know. I mean, that's my only option though.
You can
No,
request
I'm
it.
just
and then-
reporting, I'm not giving any
What
solution.
about your window?
A window was, I heard the noise, and I had a hurricane road down, and I went out, I didn't see. I called Easy Joe, and I told him, I heard it. Tell your people to be a little bit sensitive, not to do hard edging.
Warm in here.
Then over the weekend I was cleaning my windows and I saw the church. And I settled with Joe, I didn't want to charge him to make the troubles to him. He said he's gonna bring a guy to fix that. I know if you have a chip on a car window, you can fix that without replacing the whole glass. But that was a week ago and he disappeared. And yesterday I was looking for him. He's hiding. So I'm officially reporting broken window and asking to
I
do
have your
something with
pictures,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I send you pictures and so on. I try to be nice to him because, I don't know, he's really working hard. I see him all the time working, really hard working. He doesn't have a big crew, he doesn't have a lot of resources, and that might be the reason. But, I mean, if we agreed about something, he can
He has to honor the agreement.
yeah.
Understood.
Anyway, I'm still not asking to replace the whole window. You
Just
saw the
wants
picture.
it repaired.
It's
Yeah.
just repair of this piece, but basically we have to warn him to not to do with the edge machines, edge cutting machines, nowhere close to the pebbles because it just
He hits
wipes
rocks.
out.
Yeah, and it hits your windows, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I got it.
That would be all for cluster 6, so far as I
Thank
know.
you.
Okay.
Question for cluster 5. You said it's rain and shine, he comes and fixes
Come clean up the gutters.
would it be prudent to get all of them checked? Or just with the ones that complain?
I would say all of them.
Okay, just one in
Yeah,
there about.
He does repairs too.
Yeah, he does repairs as well.
Okay, okay.
And they are pretty quick.
The master, Pedro, filled in for Peter while he was gone, and she did a very good job.
Let me say something about Peter. We all owe our to-dos to that woman.
I
She
agree.
gets home at noon and she's out there morning till night working. Every cluster. I mean, she's a phenomenal. We owe a lot of things to that woman.
She's pulled weeds, she's pulled out plants, she's pulled out bushes out here, spending her weekends. She's an awesome
Yeah.
person.
She works very hard for the association.
We very much appreciate her. She's sick tonight, or she would have been here.
She was.
She did a beautiful drawing. When those end caps are done, everybody will be pleased. She's very good at what she does. I have one more thing, I can't think of it.
One more car issue. We had a car that was leaking out in front here. I called Carol, it made quite a mess out there, and Peter came today and spread some whatever around.
I was just gonna ask that.
The car was gone, the car moved. There's no plates on the car. I guess it went around to the 7th Avenue side of our cluster. Tonight it's back. There's no plates on it.
Where?
No tags, like no.
Call and get it towed.
Yeah, he can't call.
You can
I
call.
can call.
Yeah,
I can get it towed.
yeah.
Just when I walk out, so I'm parked in your cluster.
It's right there on the
Yeah,
end, right on the
I'll take
end.
pictures and I'll get it towed.
There's no.
On the other side though, 7th?
No,
It's not
it's
right here.
It went from here to there and then it's back again.
It's here?
Yeah.
Right out
Go
here.
take a picture right now?
And then I can go home.
Walk out there and watch her.
They're really quick.
Don't talk about anything while I'm gone. Nobody talk until I come back.
Go get 'em.
Can we talk about you? You can talk about me anytime. As long as it's behind my back, it's okay.
We're gonna make him pay for it.
Is that what we did?
Yes.
Well, I wouldn't know.
We're gonna.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Otherwise it'll cost us money.
Yeah, I said, more policy. I don't even know who owns it.
Hey, Carol. Carol. That's one of the visitors for Tammy's boys.
John was trying to get old.
The owner of that car visiting the boys.
Yes, I was gonna have the both of those for like.
Upstairs. They're renting it for a woman who has 2 boys. The woman's nowhere to be found, but the 2 boys have 6 people there every night.
We need to get them
At one point, I was watching them on camera doing birthdays out in front of the places out. They rode it over in front of the Carl's place.
Yeah, it's out there.
I think next month we need to go get I don't like it
So
either.
I went to Manatee County Sheriff's Department and I gave them license plate numbers of all the cars in the sheriff's It stopped.
It's just a lot of the
But now,
are.
they work out here because there's a on that side. Me,
We weren't trying to like
and
overrule it. I just thought that Joe guy was trying to work
because
on
the mom
That's fine.
knocked on the call's door.
When I was
He said, "You can take the car." Complaining
As
about
soon as
my
we get
kids.
some more
So
bids.
I like
She went to
I don't
the
think-
she said, "You have a
Yeah. Too much money. I need too much
I
money. I don't know, it's still.
I got the big number. We're good.
Thank you.
We're all good.
Alright, we'll restart the meeting. Everybody have a seat.
We'll re-adjourn.
Was that the 7th inning stretch?
I got the bin. Okay, how's it back on track?
Okay, let's get back on track. Thank you. Oh, one more thing before we move on to security cameras. Cluster 4, the McCurdy's donated $100 towards the beautification committee.
Oh, very nice.
So more money to work on stuff.
What? Say that again, Sharon.
The McCurdy's in Cluster 4, Kim and Jean McCurdy, they live on the south side, McCurdy, they drive a green.
Oh, okay, okay.
Kia Soul.
Okay, gotcha.
So if you wave to him, say thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It was brought up about security cameras. I know several people do have them. Some have the Ring doorbell or the Ring security camera, or what do you have, John?
A Ring doorbell and Blink cameras.
I brought it up last week because my neighbor across the way in Cluster 4
Wanted it.
to know if he could have one.
Right.
Yeah, the Ring doorbells are awesome. I have one at home. I don't think that you should do anything. I think we need to do a size limit and nothing like no floodlights, that type
Yeah.
of thing. Nothing that's gonna disturb your neighbor.
My suggestion would be that if you want to put security cameras up, obviously, if it's a Ring doorbell on your door, of course, that's probably not going to impede anything that has to do with common areas. But if you're going to put cameras that would be affixed to the concrete, the fascia, any of that stuff, then I would think that we would treat that like we do with any other exterior modification. Just send in your information, send in a little picture of what the camera would be, and then the board can approve or deny. And then if you do obviously use and you screw into anything and you cause damage, you have to repair it when you take it down. You know what I'm saying? That's normally how we work it at other associations. You go case by case because everybody's going to find a different type of camera. You know, you might find one on Amazon, you might find one here. So if you just get
any
approval.
vandalism or break-ins that we should all know about?
Correct. I think that it's not a bad idea.
No, I'm saying, is it common now, would it be in the board of directors of each cluster, say, if there are meetings, oh, we had such and such happen, be aware?
If the owner reports it,
If we
then
know.
yeah.
Well, that's what she's asking.
Yeah.
Do we know?
Do we know? How would we know?
Have
If
there
the owner
been?
reported it to us.
No, I'm saying, okay, I'm in cluster 5, cluster 1 has a break-in. So we be aware of what's going on in the other clusters, you know what I mean?
If you had a Ring doorbell, it would tell you have a break-in in your area.
She's just asking what I mean. I mean, if there's some vandalism going on, or robberies, or break-ins, or cars, breaking in the cars.
Sometimes we won't even know. I don't know how we'd know that unless the police were in here or if someone reported
That's what
it.
I'm saying, if you do know, would you spread it around?
Oh, absolutely.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
What happened to our security cameras in here?
They
Like
were
round the
too
pool?
expensive.
They're old.
No,
They're here.
They were not,
They're here.
they're inadequate. They're not up to technology,
What they costing?
no.
Well, they were just for the dumpsters. See?
They're right here.
Yeah, but didn't they have some up?
Don't you see them? They're right there.
Because of.
They don't work.
They don't work.
But that's if I may just.
Absolutely. Let me
I
kind
had
of
an
calm this.
experience with,
Okay, Nisad's gonna make a comment about,
I did install 4 cameras around, and I have to say that around every window we have a wood frame.
right,
You can attach to it, it's not
Right.
gonna hurt construction, concrete and whatever. And point bullet camera, as Joe said, that's something that will work, but I will say, because those frames are beige, that camera could be white, not black, and so on.
and,
But
yeah.
basically, I gave up on it, and I removed everything, because if somebody breaks camera, it's not gonna stop them. I was
Right.
more concerned about what's going on with people working on our settlement, with the tree crew, with the landscapers and so on, just to catch the moment if they break something. But basically, I don't think that is gonna protect anybody, because if you have a burglary, they don't care about your camera, they will break anyway into it and so on. So I just had this suggestion, if you go with that, the only place the frame around the window is from the wood, isn't gonna and when I dismount everything, there is nothing visible on it and so on. It's not gonna hurt any architectural or any other way of the buildings and so on.
Did you get a camera for the garden, for their garden?
We had one.
We had one before. You
It
can't,
doesn't work.
it doesn't work because,
You can't identify the person.
yeah, and there's no way of checking the license plate.
We don't have a way to run license plates.
Because I walk my dog and it's say 10:30, 11 o'clock, and there's nothing there. I go out in the morning, it's loaded.
But what we're saying is it doesn't matter because unless I can identify that person by their face, I have no way of knowing, it doesn't matter. You can see anything on a camera, but unless you have the ability to identify that person, then the camera is useless. Now, if it's on your property, like your Ring doorbells, things like that, you know, obviously it's your personal property and you can catch people doing things they're not supposed to do. You can turn that over to the police, you can put on Facebook, I don't care what you do with it. You can share it with everybody in the world because guess what? That's your personal camera that you can share with whoever you want. I don't know if you guys ever go on Facebook, but people put that on Facebook all the time. Like, I caught this, you know, this person stealing my Amazon package. If you know this person, call me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And also the Nextdoor app is very good
Right.
too.
So my suggestion to the board would just be to make it simple for you guys, that if a person would like to install a camera system, that they just follow the procedure that we do for everything else, which is submit their information to the board, submit a picture of what they're gonna do, and then ask for approval. Because it's hard to set a specific standard for that. Does the board think that that's an adequate way of handling it?
Yeah.
Would anyone like to make a motion to that? Or just say you would motion what I said?
I motion what you said.
I second it.
All right, is
All in
everyone in
favor?
favor? Okay.
Okay, this is gonna probably take a while.
We'll just,
Review the 2020 budget.
okay, so I'm just gonna ask, I sent the 2020 budgets to all of the directors. Have you guys looked at your budget? Okay.
What's the difference between first and second draft?
Well, the first one is, the first one is based upon your expenditures. So what I did was I take, these are real numbers. This is legitimate numbers of what you spent and how you should, you know, line it up. Now, the master went up. So automatically, everybody went up, right? Whenever the master increases, that obviously takes you guys up to the next level. Terry, I don't think you have an increase, right?
No, but we had an
I don't
increase
think
last
six
year, like
also.
by 15 or
Six
20
didn't have an
bucks
increase.
per unit. I
Okay,
don't think
You have
anybody
an
else had
increase.
one.
No,
So-
in the second draft.
so you have an increase,
In the second draft?
yeah.
It
So,
was 395.
okay, Terry, the reason why you don't have an increase is because you have been spending adequately, you're reserving appropriately, and you're doing your jobs by piecemeal, and you don't have large projects that are coming up, right? I mean, you don't have anything that, I mean, has to be done.
Is there
So,
a difference with cluster six? regarding
wait, I'm gonna
this?
go through each one.
Okay.
Okay. So, you gotta give me a second to get, and I'm working from memory, because I don't even have it in front of me. I have it in front of me. So, cluster 2 didn't go up, or cluster 3 didn't go up because you're adequately spending, and if you look at the bottom line for the year, you actually have a surplus of $2,000. So you underspent based upon your budget. So I was able to keep you at the same rate, okay? So are you okay with that?
Yeah, I don't, I seriously.
You don't want to raise.
Are you kidding me? I think $400 a month is.
And I'm
over
putting
the top.
$6,000 into your reserve for roofs, and I'm putting $5,000 into your building for reserves. So that's a lot of money, if you think that that's an adequate amount of money. Plus you still have the money in your operating for, you have $5,000 in building for your operating. I upped your tree trimming to be exactly with what
the bill came
Right.
through as last year.
Right, so I decreased your bad debt because you're getting less and less people who are not paying. So there's no point in adding bad debt in there.
That one, when I first took over again, we had a repo. Did that ever get settled, and what happened to that money?
The foreclosure? Off the top of my head, I don't remember. But I will. Which one was it? St. John?
That should have came back into our cluster, correct?
Yes, it would have. The money would have gone to your cluster.
I don't recall seeing it, that's the only reason why I'm asking.
Yeah, it would go back in your cluster into your operating account. So I'd have to go back and look. You know. Cluster 1, I did give you an increase. You don't ever get increased.
Oh, we never do.
And it's not a big increase, but I did it because I was trying to match up with what you're spending and keep your reserve fully funded. But I will tell you that you were under budget as well. If my projections are correct, you were under budget $10,000. So your increase is only, I think, $8.
Or no, speaking of painting and everything, you know, we had ours painted. So that's the only thing I take issue with.
Do you want me to decrease the amount of money that's going into painting?
Well, we
For your
painted it 2 years ago.
I can.
And it right here it says total like 8, that's not correct. Because we
Is it
had.
10?
We had I'll have to talk to Sherman Williams again. We went for the more expensive paint.
When did you paint? How long ago?
2 years ago. And we painted before anybody.
So you have 10 years, so you have 8 years left on it.
And let me tell you, no, we got a better paint. They have improved their paint formula. And it was a longer lifetime than 10.
Okay, give me 1 second, I'm fixing it for you.
Yeah. And the remaining life is not accurate. Because nobody's been painted in here except for us, I think.
Okay, I'm gonna fix your painting, so I'll move you up to 10 years and that you have 8 years left on it. So that'll bring your fees to $365. Do you wanna go back up to what you currently are?
What are we now?
$375. I can add $10 in here somewhere, give you extra money in building repairs. Do you want that?
Yeah, because like I said before, our buildings are 40 years old now. And there's a lot of little minuscule.
I can play number games.
There's a lot of minuscule things that need to be tended to. Which
Okay,
is
give me
what
1 second.
I'm proposed.
Okay, so I'm gonna put you back at $375, and you're gonna have $8,000 in your building repairs for this year instead of 5. And then your painting will go down, and you won't be putting as much in your painting reserve.
Yeah.
So I reallocated it, but your fees will stay the same.
Yeah.
Is that good?
That's good.
Okay.
I want you to do the master. We should have started with the master.
All right. The master. The master reserves originally had a line item. Oops. Sorry, let's get my chair back. For insurance, and the reason why I set that up was because at one point in time we operated in the negative in the reserves. In the operating account, and we didn't have the money to pay our down payment for our insurance policy. So we created a line item so that every year we would have the insurance money. Well, it ended up that we somehow, by the turn of fate, we started building money back up in our operating, and we started getting on the positive side. Well, that insurance money never got used. But by law, it had to be used for insurance. We can't use it for anything else. So this year, I took the money from the reserve, and I used that money to pay $40,000 down on your insurance policy, because your insurance policy went up by $13,000. So we used the reserve fund, we deleted that insurance line item, and now so your master went up. And it also went up because we went over by, we went over by $68,295 in our budget this year. We went over.
Why was that?
We know why.
Well, you know why.
Asphalt.
Asphalt. So,
Why do you have this line item as plant replacement though?
It needs to be changed. I'll change it right now.
What are you gonna change it to? Asphalt?
No, that's not what it is. It was miscellaneous grounds and maintenance.
Okay, yeah, get rid of plant replacement.
Fixing it right now. Okay, got it. So, you know, when you go over $68,000 in your operating, and then your insurance goes up, everything else kind of stayed the same. I didn't really go higher on anything else. I just, the insurance went up, and I had to spend the money that was in the insurance reserve line item. So this year, you're still going to be budgeting appropriately, but your fees are going up for the master. So let me see here. You per unit, if you divide it by 176, it's $2,679.89. Last year it was $2,485.74. So I only brought it up by like maybe $200 for the year. So that's what we had to do that. And we had to use that insurance money. It couldn't just sit there anymore. It wasn't being added.
It was good that it was there.
Yeah, it was good because it helped us put a big down payment, and it lowered our payments for the insurance because the insurance went up. So.
And that's due to the age plus the hurricanes.
Yep. The D&O policies go up every year. I don't even want to do cluster 2. Okay. So cluster 2, there's no representative here, but in the budget, you would actually be going up $40 a month. And that's because you went over $34,000 in your budget this year, and there's still a lot of work to be done. So I have to fund you guys appropriately, and I haven't changed anything. I haven't upped you in anywhere. I actually decreased some of your stuff, so you weren't spending so much money in certain areas. I got rid of some line items. I did my best to keep it lower, but I think that everyone in cluster 2 knows that it's an extremely overdue increase. I mean, we should have been increasing a long time ago, and it just never happened. So right now,
the monthly,
that's your monthly assessment. It would go up to $444 a month.
because just a few months ago, it went up from 380 to 404 or
Four.
something. So
Yeah.
that's 2 increases like that?
It's because for 10 years you were, how long was it, Ruby, do you think? About 10 years?
Yeah.
It's about 10 years that your director wouldn't increase and do projects. So now we're doing all these projects and fixing all these things that are coming up, and every time we fix something, something else comes. So it's like you need a new roof, you need all these exterior things, and unfortunately the way that your cluster was built is much different than some of the other clusters. You've had a lot of water damage, like we had that whole wall that was full of water, it was bulging. So, what?
Tell them the current and what you're talking
Yeah, so basically for the reserves, for your buildings, you only have $3,000 in that account. You need way more than that because you have carport repairs, you have grounds, you have buildings. So for this year, I'm putting $11,000 into that account so that you can actually do repairs. The roof replacements, I'm putting another $8,000 in there. And then building painting, which needs to be done, I'm putting $11,000 into that. So a lot of your money is going into your reserve, which is good for you guys because you're going to be able to get things done when you need it. And like last projected, you spent $55,000 on building and fence repairs out of the operating account.
about. And all of that was needed, it wasn't
Right,
unnecessary.
but you only budgeted
there.
$20,000. And I still kept you at $20,000, but you spent $55,000. So,
Can I ask you, I mean, I'm not trying to poke at anybody.
No,
but-
no, it's fine.
No, but I'm saying, like, the last several meetings when Kathy Jo was representing Cluster 2, and going on and on about all the things she was doing and everything was so grand and whatever. Was she spending money that she shouldn't have been spending?
I can't say that,
Okay.
but
I'm just asking, it just
I
sounds to
can
me.
say that the budget went over by $34,000. That, I mean,
Has
that's,
the budget before that been way over too, that it went up already?
years.
4 months, I don't know.
I'd have to go back and look at.
That's a huge increase is what I'm saying, in like
I
less
know.
than 1 year.
She did have a lot of emergency
It's about $70 or something like that.
I'm just, I'm not in cluster 2, I'm just observing, and every time we would come to the meetings, she would go on and on about fixing this and fixing that and doing this and doing that. And we're sitting here thinking, wow, they must really have a lot of money over there in cluster 2,
Yeah.
good for them,
No,
for
but
getting all
they
this
did get
done.
nailed. They
And
got
now
nailed.
it's like, uh-oh.
Can I say
They got nailed by the city.
Well, she was only the
Can I say
director for a
something?
few
Yes.
months, so I don't know how much damage she could
Guys,
have done.
she did quite a bit.
Guys, I live over there.
Yes.
You guys all know me. It's been terrible over there for a long, long time. And what's happened is when, way back when, we had so many, like, problems. We'd have someone come in and directors that didn't really know what they were doing each and every time, and they were there for just a short period, then we'd have no director. We also had someone that, way back in the beginning, stole our money, and all these things were happening, and even when we had a director, like I said, they were just short period, they weren't doing anything, we weren't fixing anything, and then big problems happened, and then there were emergencies, and then we didn't have any money, and we had to spend it. We've never moved up. When Kathy Jo came in, I just happened to, because I usually do know what's going on around, she basically was working on emergency things. So even though we're looking at the fact that sitting there, it sounds like she was spending money that she didn't need to spend. Well, they were
She had to
basically,
spend
she
it.
had to spend them. Because
She did a great
all of
job
those,
on it.
all of the projects are stuff that's just been sitting there, and it's, yes, exactly, that's really the situation.
And who's to say that maybe next year you'll go down? Maybe we can just get it up this year so that you're funded, unless something
We
else.
have done that before.
We have.
Yeah.
So when does this additional, because now that is gonna put it up to $445. $4.
Yes.
And
Is
I'm
that
gonna be,
anywhere near any of the other clusters, or is that way over?
We're at 400.
We're at 400.
Well,
There's only 25 units in ours.
But every cluster's different.
Right.
Cluster 3 is at 400, cluster 4 is at 388, she's at 375, cluster 6, if we get there, would be 395, and cluster 5 is 430. So you'd be right there with them. And I,
going up
wait, I didn't suggest it.
Wait a minute.
I'm not there.
Let's get to each cluster as we get to the
Yeah.
Just a little
cluster.
bit inside, because nobody, I think Pebble was here, the last year budget, nobody else, and maybe she was here. Dawn increased intentionally because you were in big trouble in the cluster.
Right.
Yeah.
You didn't have money, and he went over anybody else.
You still
Cluster
don't have
6
money.
got just $17 up, but cluster 2 went 40 something dollars up, because he was aware of it, that you have emergencies coming, and that this cluster doesn't have any reserves and so on. So
We
that
knew
was,
about that one, and that was
He
cool.
doesn't know.
that started in January of this year.
Okay, we have to get,
We have to get through all the clusters.
Okay, so, we don't have a director to approve cluster 2's increase. So it falls to,
We have a director at large.
we have a director at large and we have a president. And I'm not gonna stick it on you,
I'll
Nassau.
take the blame.
Sharon will take the blame.
Okay.
There's a lot of projects that still need to be done in 2. You've got roof leaks still, you've got stair repair. It really, this needs to be funded. You don't have any funds in your reserves. So, I'm sorry. Maybe just this year, and we could look at it next year and
decrease it.
So this increase then will take care of all these things we're talking about.
We're hoping,
We're hoping.
yes, it will work.
I can't
to-
promise that. I mean,
And we're trying to avoid special assessments. We've already
Yeah,
done
right.
special assessments. So we're trying to avoid that. That doesn't look good when you're trying to sell your property if you keep having assessment after assessment after assessment.
Or increases after each.
They look, the increase, they don't mind as much as a special assessment. But every association is different. I have associations who would rather special assess, but I don't think that that's fair to cluster two.
No, you pay
Owners.
too many, so.
What about fines? Are there any,
What?
like fines? Do people get fined for
No,
stuff?
No.
That could be a revenue generator. You can
It
take
can't
all
be a
these-
revenue generator because you can't collect them because you can't foreclose on an owner for it.
Well,
Condominium rules are not the same at HOAs.
I
yeah,
mean, this place is riddled with screens that are dry rotted.
I know, but we gotta get budgets done, I'm sorry.
Well, no, if you fine people $100, you know, maybe that would
We
bring
can't
money.
find them.
All right, fine then.
So,
Okay, cluster 3, we did you. I'm trying to get my computer to move. Cluster 4, you're going up by $1.
tell them why, I don't want them to think I'm just going up by $1.
Well, you saved $9,000 this year, but you're going up by $1 because you added more money into your reserves, into your building and repairs and carports and grounds. So you added more money into your reserve and it just costs, oh, and roof replacement, you added more funds for
We
reserve
did
funding.
have roof, repairs this year.
Yep.
All the flat roofs, we had maintenance done on them.
And we increased your tree trimming a little bit too. So that, it's basically you're putting more money into your reserve.
Which is a good thing.
Last year you put $13,907, this year you're gonna put $14,553. So that's what the $1 covers, is the increase to your reserves.
And that's 4.
That's 4.
Okay.
Cluster 5, Nancy, I don't think I didn't have such an increase for you,
I know.
but she asked me for it, so I gave it to you.
Well, you needed it.
All right, no, I'm just telling you, I gave it to you.
I mean,
So
now
for
what you
this
have to
year,
do-
the increase would be that you're putting $19,000 into your building, carport, and grounds versus last year where you put $12,000. So you're adding about $5,000 into that. So your fees will go up by $30 a month.
Yeah.
And I'm putting $19,000 into your building repairs and operating. And you do have staircases that need to be replaced.
Yeah.
You have a painting job that may need to be done. You have some stucco work. So, you know, it will generate the money to do these repairs. You
Yeah.
are correct.
That's right.
So do you approve the 430?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, when I wrote to that, I only put 425. You
I
just
couldn't get
put
to 425.
Oh.
It wouldn't work.
Oh, okay. But, I mean, you know you have all those steps, and if they're emergencies, you
I
have
don't
no money.
disagree. I
You
don't
have no
disagree.
money.
So cluster 6, we're getting to you. You would,
First of all, did you discuss that with Edna or did she?
Edna has gotten a copy of it, but she hasn't really.
She didn't make any comments?
No.
Did she ask for some,
Nothing.
nothing?
No.
She did any?
Nothing.
I mean, I don't understand.
she said she couldn't open it.